figured let's take the time. Let's take this slow. I always have the feeling that I have to rush, but I got stuff, and it's quite a big pile, and I'm gonna go through them one by one. And there's a note. It's a gift. It's I got a gift. Stuff was gifted to me, and I'm actually very happy with this because it's stuff that I've never seen before. I've talked about, you know, my gaming history was basically Commodore 64 and a little video pack, Odyssey 2, and Atari 2600. But the Commodore was the major part of it. But I never bought games for the Commodore 64, and I can't remember ever seeing them, you know, retail games in the store. It just never occurred to me that you could buy them, and I never had a problem with pirating Commodore games, although it was an issue back then too. Well, I got a bunch of Commodore games, and I'm really excited about that because just the fact that it exists and that it's real, and for me it's the first time that I've held them. I pride myself on the fact that I know a lot of Commodore games because I used to play a lot of Commodore games. And I have to be honest that I know none of the games that are in this box right here. So I had to go on the internet, on YouTube, and look up some gameplays. I even have a game that has no videos on YouTube at all. So let's start with this. I got a Loot Crate button. Now, I am not big on Loot Crate. That's putting it mildly. I don't like Loot Crate. Although I like this button because it has a tape on it. That's nice. It says rewind. And it says Loot Crate. But I think Loot Crate is stupid because you pay money to people and they put cheap crap in a box, and I don't know. It just seems, that's just my opinion. It's okay if you like Loot Crate. I like watching Loot Crate videos. I enjoy watching people be happy with the stuff that they get, but I just can't see myself justifying spending money on this. But I got one now. I got it for free, and that's nice. I like this. Now I'm afraid to pin it on my shirt, because I like the shirt. But I'll leave it here. Oh, I could maybe pin it on myself. How about that? Well, that doesn't seem right. I'll just put it here. Oh God, this is going to be the community wall. My shelf is going to be the community wall. Because, you know, can you see that penis mug still up there? You can see a bit of it, maybe. Anyway, I got a box of games. Here are some tapes from me, Evohaler, to you, the Highlander, for your new Commodore 64 collection. I don't have a new Commodore 64 collection. I hate football. Well, that makes two of us, Giles, because I hate football too. I've had a couple of new subscribers. Welcome. Thank you. And if you don't know Evohaler, he's like, you know, the staple of the YouTube community. He's, I'll put a link in the description to Evohaler. I won't need to say anything about Evohaler. You love him. I do. Okay, so I got some games. I got Commodore 64 games. Now they're all tape games. I'm sure that I have a tape drive upstairs somewhere in the attic. Ready for the connect it up. I don't know, but I could probably find. That's just, I'm not going through them in any kind of specific order, but this is the one game, Commodore 64 cassette, 50 fantastic games on one cassette. Well, it doesn't say which games. It's from 1993 by Cascade. It's a nice. The label is in nice condition. I guess this makes boxed and complete, right? It just the back label is in perfect order because it's not there. I don't know. It doesn't say which games are on the. Oh, maybe it does. Wait a minute. But it can't. Oh, it does. It can't be much good. Let's just name. Lunar Landing. I know that one. Galactic Dogfight. Noughts and Crosses. Well. Ski Jump. Hangman. Nim. Cannonball Battle. Overtake. Sitting Target. Smash the Windows. Spaceship. Inferno. Ghosts. Planets. Black Hole. Rats. Parachute. Maybe. The Force with F-O-R-S-E. Well, this must have been one of those, smells old. Here we go. Oh, let's not mess things up here. Now, I hate football. European Soccer Challenge. I did find a gameplay of this, but not for the Commodore. I think it was for the BBC, which looked absolutely horrendous. These are Commodore screenshots, and I know because the BBC one looked horrible. All the players were. It's a top-down view. The sprites and the animation were okay for the time, but all the players were black, and you could see only like a 10% section of the pitch, which made it impossible to play, I think. So, and I'm not big on football anyway. Then another collection. These are for the Commodore 128 and for the 64 as well. Now, one of the games is Cyberdyne Warrior. I looked them up. Cyberdyne Warrior is much like Russian Attack. What's the other? Oh God. Oh, I can't think of the name. I knew it under a different name. It's sort of a run and gun kind of game. That's what it looked like, but it was basically a rip-off. Then there was Battle Valley. I think that actually looked pretty good. Battle Valley, I think, wasn't that the game where you play as a chopper and a tank? I think Hellfire 64 did a gameplay of that. It looked very, very, very good. Then there is a game called Sensitive, and Sensitive is like an isometric ball maze kind of game where you have to collect crosses. It actually looked pretty nice. It didn't look bad, and the music was good. And then there was Indie Heat. That was a top-down. That actually looked pretty good as well. I think these games were a Storm, 21st Century Entertainment. I don't know. Future Publishing. Indie Heat actually looked very interesting. It was a racing game, and also a top-down like BMX simulator, and there were pit stops, so you had to like turn in there and do pit stops. It looked nice as well. Now, all my faith crushed in soccer games, and then there's this game, 4 soccer simulators. by Ocean? No, by Codemasters. Codemasters. These people knew how to make a video game. I only saw... this is basically, I guess, the same soccer engine, but then in a couple of different modes. But there was Street Soccer on this one. And that actually looked very good. It looked like a fun game. I don't like soccer, but that looked like a fun game. So that was actually an interesting find. Now this, I can just imagine someone like me. This is Pengon. It's not Pengo. No, it's Pengon. And you know, everyone who knows the Pengo game, you have like the little penguin, and you walk around, and you have all these ice blocks, and the 3 blocks that you have to put together, and you're being chased by a couple of I guess they're sea lions or whatever, or evil penguins, I don't know, and you either crush them or you touch the wall and the wall shakes, and so this has all those mechanics, but it's a cheap version of that. It was by Micro Deal, I think. Commodore 64, joysticks optional. Micro Deal software, 1984. Now, it's easy to say. Let's just take a moment. Willy Penguin lives in a house constructed of blocks of ice, which he can slide around whenever he wants a change of decor. When he discovers he's under attack from the mutant sea lions, he decides to use the ice blocks for a different purpose. And then there goes the game. The funny thing is that AWS controls are already active here, so that's what you use in Minecraft now. Yeah, it's still. But I can just imagine a guy sitting at home. Actually, the screen there's a soft scroll, you know, vertically, and then it goes up again. Which is, I mean, a horizontal soft scroll was hard enough, but a vertical soft scroll, that was actually pretty nifty. You know, that is, I mean, that tells me that there's a programmer there who can do a couple of tricks, but making an actual game is hard, you know. Playability, music, you have to get everything right. And although this game works, and it's Pengo, you know, he ripped off the idea, but he made the program, so technically he was capable. But I have a little... it's not a good game. It doesn't look good. You know, it doesn't, you know, tick all the boxes, basically. It doesn't cross all the T's. And but to say it's a bad game and say, oh, you know, it sucks and it's crap, I can just imagine that guy spending hundreds of hours programming this and us going, oh, it's not exactly what I expect, you know. Anyway, I guess that's tough, you know. It's the way game programming goes. Now there's another collection game here. 4 Quattro arcade. I think 4 and Quattro sort of mean the same thing. So also by Codemasters. I didn't look them all up, but there's a pinball simulator. You know, nice enough. Then there was a game called Poltergeist. Poltergeist. And there's a picture of a guy with a baseball bat and some sort of evil yeti. So you're thinking, you know, it's maybe a platformer or but it's actually a Defender-like game. You fly around in a spaceship, going left and right, and you can shoot things, and it doesn't have anything to do with the picture. But Paul Sumner from Zap magazine, you know, a well-known character here. Poltergeist is fast, an enjoyable game that gets my seal of approval. Okay, I don't know who Paul is, but that's the only game that gets a seal of approval. So Pinball, Poltergeist, and there was a Grand Prix 2. Now that was an example of how Codemasters can make a kick-ass game. There's 4 of these games on a tape. The graphics are good, the music is good. Now Grand Prix 1 was very difficult to control. There's a lot of sliding. It sort of looked like a dirt track It didn't look like it felt like racing on a dirt track. A lot of sliding going on. Controlling the car, very difficult. Again, a top-down Formula One simulator. I think it was well, a two-player game with two AI racers as well. But then came Grand Prix 2, which improved all of that. It improved the sound in the sense that it didn't have the annoying braking sounds anymore. But it's sort of, the sound design was a kind of dull. It was you know, you hear the cars going around. So the sound wasn't great, but the game looked good, very playable, not like Pengon, where you rip off a good idea and make a sort of a, you know, it's a game. These guys, they knew how to make the graphics, and they knew how to make a good game. So it's surprising, Grand Prix 2. And then there was a fruit machine simulator, which is not interesting at all. It's about as interesting as football. Then there was this game. Actually a very, very surprisingly good game. Bionic Ninja. By Zeppelin Games. £3. Knives, stars, fists. Right? Again, a really good looking sort of run and gun Robocop kind of style game. Bionic Ninja is an awesome game where the baddies really get what's coming to them. If you're good enough as a player, that is. A ruthlessly efficient fighting machine is formed when the Oriental disciplines of the East are installed into a killer android. Wow, it's beginning to sound like... armed with a killer punch, Death Stars, and samurai swords, your side has the chance of smashing the meanies to bits. Game design, Robert Toon. Graphics, Simon Phipps. I recommend this game, actually. It looked very interesting. Again, graphics. Can't remember the sound, though, but it looked very nice. Very colorful. Now, oh, here we go. There's a game called Roll Around. Oh, I made a mistake. Roll Around is like the isometric. You control a ball and you roll around in a maze, and you have to collect, you know, roll over crosses and collect them. And there is sort of puzzle element. You can jump with the ball, and this was an amazing looking game as well. This was by Mastertronic. I generally don't like isometric games. You know, Zaxxon is a good example. This is a good example as well. It looked very colorful. Again, the music was very good. I would just wonder about that other game that I thought was good. Then I lied, because that was, oh, it sort of looks the same. Sensitive. I did see a gameplay of it. It involves a ball as well, but what you do exactly with it is... Now, this game. This is like a big case. It has 2 tapes. And it has a manual. 2 tapes and a manual. Now this game came out on disc as well. There's a lot of loading time. Every fart you let fly, it says change the disc, flip the disc. But it's a full-blown Formula One simulator. In the sense that you can, there's a lot of attention to setting up your car. There's a wind tunnel. You can set the set like the spoilers and the wings and the front wings and the back wing, and there's a lot of stuff that you can do, and it's very sophisticated in that sense. But when it comes to the driving, you know, there are actually tracks. It's a 3D view, so you're sitting behind the wheel, but it's unplayable. It is undrive. I've seen several gameplays of this, and everybody says, well, you know, it's just undoable. But then pulling all of that out of the poor old Commodore 64, that is it's Electronic Arts. It's an EA game, so that was my jump cut moment. Electronic Arts, so we know that they can make good games. Very nice. It's a Ferrari licensed game, I think. Now, I used to play this game, but the first version, US Gold, which was basically, you know, you've seen Bedrooms to Billions. They talked about it there as well. US Gold was basically a company that put together the works of many game designers and published it under a single name called US Gold, and that All American Software. You know, that was I think it was a British publisher who thought, well, let's collect everything and publish it over here. In the time that that wasn't a very commonplace thing to do, because there were lots of British game developers back then, and importing games from the States was difficult. And US Gold did that, and they published Beachhead. Now, I had Beachhead 1. I think I'm actually missing a tape, because there's a tape placeholder here and there's a tape here. Although that might just mean that I don't know. It's a very advanced game. Announcing twin packs from the leader of the pack. I don't know what that means. But I played Beachhead, which basically was all about... I can remember a screen where you had to shoot a cannon off a ship and try to hit other ships. You had to navigate like a submarine through a minefield. And I think there was another level that I can't really remember now, but I thought it was an enjoyable game. I liked Beachhead, and we played it a lot. It was a quality game. You could see that there was a lot of attention to the graphics but Beachhead 2, I know of it, but I've never played it. So I'm actually yeah, it's just cool. I never saw this. You know, this is like, I mean, we used to have music tapes, and they looked like this, you know, they're basically the same. But this box, I've never seen this. This is new to me, and it looks like something, and it makes a nice, you know, a nice sound when you shake it. And when there's a manual in there, like this one, this actually has a manual. This feels heavy. This feels solid. I bought a game. And then there's one mystery thing. This is by Activision. Now, the logo on here is really old. Guadalcanal. Designed by Ian Bird, developed in collaboration with Alan Steele. Now, I don't know either of these two characters, but Guadalcanal is a comprehensive strategic war game which covers the battle for the island. Yeah, the island. In the latter months of 1942, so it's very specific. I've not been able to find a single gameplay of this game, but it's a very strategic and slow game. So I talked to Polo Ventris, who said, well, I haven't done a gameplay of it, but it's probably slow. I talked to Hellfire 64, you know, to Rob, and he said I might do it, but it's probably going to be slow. So I've been trying to talk to people and see if they can do a gameplay for me, because I don't know if I have a like a ROM copy of this, so I can try it myself. I'm not big on strategy games, but again, just to have this in my hand, you know, just to, again, it's a one a one tape game. It's very light. Manufactured in the UK. That's what it says. This is from the time when UK publishers were making this stuff and selling them, you know, by mail order, and it has a fat manual. It's not in color, but there are warship codes and oh man, this is actually a very look at all the text. This page is 21 pages, 27, 31 pages. 34 pages. There's so much in here. And I think this is all from Pearl Harbor to Guadalcanal. It's a whole bit of history, weather effects, intelligence, the radio, design notes, issuing supplies, loading supplies, in transit, There's so much in here on this tape, so it's actually amazing, and it's a testimony to the capabilities of the machine and the programmers, of course. So that's it. That's the box empty. But I'm just very excited to have these, and you know, still within my collection goal, because I didn't. I mean, this was a gift. Evohaler, Giles, thanks again. I love this. You didn't have to do this. This was purely a surprise. I love it. I love it. I'm very happy with this. Look at it. If you put it like this, put it on your shelf. You know, who's gonna know what system this is for? Nobody. I wouldn't. Well, I do now. It's Commodore. So I like this. Very, very nice. Now the note is going in the cock mug where it's supposed to go. The other cock mug, which you can't see. Just shortly about the collection goals. I have bought Elite Dangerous. I've been playing it. It's the most immersive experience that I've ever had in a game. So I'm going to go out tomorrow and get a webcam. There's a free piece of software that I can use to do head tracking, so I can turn my head and I'll actually be looking around in my cockpit, which will help during battles and that kind of stuff. So I'm really excited about that. That's awesome. If you don't know what Elite is, Elite Dangerous, look it up. There's tons of videos out there. The sound design is just, it blows your mind. I love that. So that's going on. But I bought that game. You know, I took out Xenoblade Chronicles for the Wii, because I'm probably not going to buy that because it's too expensive. I took that out, so I basically slashed the price in half because I paid 50 euros for Elite Dangerous. I also took out Destiny. I've been watching Conrad Pierce's gameplays of Destiny. They look interesting, but I took Destiny off and I put in a different game that I just can't think of right now. What did I put in? I can't remember. Oh, oh yeah, I put in a twin stick shooter. Oh, I think it was Geometry Wars Dimensions. I saw Kit 171's gameplay of that. I love twin stick shooters. I have Geometry Wars already. I played that on the Wii. I think I have it on the DS. And Geometry Wars Dimensions number 3 is out, and it looks amazing, and I really want that. So I put it on my list. I think I'm at 21% of my collection goal, and I'm still on track. I'm not buying anything else except for this Elite Dangerous. It just cost me a little bit more money because I had to get some hardware, but it's there, and I'm loving it. Bye guys. It's I think I'm almost at 30 minutes, maybe more. I can't see. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.